Hello, Vinyl community. How you doing? It's Bill with the Vinylverse. I'm here to partake in the Blue Note 1500 series project that was started up by Steven over in the Bass Clef. The 1500 series has been going on a little while now. Lots of great contributions through the Blue Note albums in the 1500 series. This episode is Blue Note 1559, Johnny Griffin, Volume 2, a Blowin session. So first, thank you, Stephen, for letting me participate in this and talk about this really fiery, incredible album by Johnny Griffin. Johnny Griffin, kind of a short guy, but known as the Little Giant. Because he was one ferocious tenor saxophone player, or saxophone player in general. He plays incredibly fast. He's known as one of the fastest saxophone players. This great album, Blue Note 1559, it says Volume 2 there, but it's known as a Blowin session. And it got that name because it really is a blowing session. It's got one of the most incredible jazz lineups for Blue Note or any recorded jazz album. If you like saxophone, this is the album for you. This is called a Blowin session for a reason. I mean, you have three incredible tenor saxophone players in the history of jazz music. You have Johnny Griffin on tenor saxophone, the brilliant John Coltrane on tenor saxophone, and Hank Mobley on tenor saxophone. So right there, it's a saxophone party. It's if you like saxophone, this is the album for you. And also on here, you have Lee Morgan on trumpet. So four incredible horn players on this album. And then it's filled out with the rhythm section of Wynton Kelly on piano, Paul Chambers on bass, and the great Art Blakey on drums. What an incredible session this was. Recorded in April of 1957. It didn't come out until later in that year, and it was at Van Gelder Studios in Hackensack, New Jersey. I think the story goes that Coltrane wasn't initially part of the session, and he was walking into the studio along with Johnny Griffin, and Johnny Griffin just kind of invited him on the spot to come and play, and they put this album down. But yeah, incredible album. A Blowin session, Johnny Griffin, Blue Note 1559. So on here you have 4 tracks, 2 standards, and then 2 originals by Johnny Griffin. The 2 standards, the Way You Look Tonight and All the Things You Are, both written by Jerome Kern. He wrote a lot of standards, and 2 of those show up on here. And then the remaining 2 songs, Ball Bearing and Smokestack, both written by Johnny Griffin. So I just wanted to read a little paragraph on the back of here, which kind of talks about the 3 tenor saxophones on here. It says, Griffin is more extrovert in a raucous manner, and his rapid-fire delivery stamps his as one of the fastest guns alive. Mobley has a big, round edge sound and an even logical conception. Coltrane is the most unconventional of the 3, with his vocal tone and very personal idea patterns. And that is a very good description of the styles of play on here. I feel like Johnny Griffin and John Coltrane are really the standouts on here. Hank Mobley is a little less confident than the other 2, but still holds his own. So this album starts off with the song The Way You Look Tonight. As I mentioned, it's written by Jerome Kern. And what a way to open an album. little opening with Art Blakey doing a little fill, and then you're off to the races. Johnny Griffin just blazes through solo off almost right off the bat, followed by the other two, Coltrane and then Mobley. But yeah, Johnny Griffin just blistering, fiery. Coltrane's solo a little more complex, and he's got a fast solo, but complex chord changes, and it's really fascinating to hear him play a track like this where he's just it's just a fiery track. These guys are going full tilt on here. All these tracks, the 7 musicians are really just powerhouses all throughout. Then we go to the second track, which is written by Johnny Griffin, and it's Ball Bearing. On this track, Coltrane takes the first solo. But great track written by Johnny Griffin. The rhythm section is a little more... Actually, throughout this album, the rhythm section is a little more in the back, not sound-wise, but kind of a little restrained. But Art Blakey always makes himself known with rim shots and different things that he does. It's you know, the rhythm section just holds everything together. They do get their solos throughout this album. Probably Paul Chambers with the least solos, but still just keeping it down, keeping everything together, holding it together. So side 2, you start off with the track All of the Things You Are, again written by Jerome Kern. This is more of a mid-tempo song, but still great soloing on this one. On this track, Paul Chambers finally gets his first solo of the album, and Wynton Kelly, not much to say on this track, but Blakey gets a little bit involved, but the 3 tenors and Lee Morgan all get their say on that track. And then we close the album out with the song Smokestack, written by Johnny Griffin, and that is a cooker. It's a little more bluesy, but it cooks. And Lee Morgan has an incredible solo on it, as do the 3 tenors, and everyone actually gets their say at some point during that track. Wynton Kelly has a bit of a solo, and Paul Chambers has a bit of a solo. Art Blakey has a bit of a solo. Yeah, so great track. So Johnny Griffin, a Blowin Session. This is probably a top 10 hard bop album for me. One of my true favorites. Got this a couple years back. This is a Music Matters pressing, 45 RPM, and this is a beautiful pressing of this album. Really, really wonderful. So, just a all-out tremendous album. One of the best, in my opinion. If you like hard bop and if you like saxophone, this is an album that you need to have. Now, originals are near impossible to come by, and if you do, you're going to be spending upwards in the 4-figure range for a very good copy. For a not so great copy, you're probably in the, I don't know, $500 or $600 range. So if you ever see this and it's for a good price, definitely pick it up. Can't go wrong. And here is the gatefold. You have Johnny Griffin here, Coltrane, Lee Morgan. Let's see, Johnny Griffin, Coltrane, and Lee Morgan, and then Paul Chambers. I get that right? Yeah. So, just a all-out Blowin session. It's appropriately named a Blowin session because that's exactly what it is. Great stuff. So once again, Stephen, thank you for letting me participate in the Blue Note 1500 series project. You'll probably be seeing me for at least one more of these, but not towards the end of the 1500 series. So I'll put a link to the playlist of all the other 1500 series videos down below in the description of this video. So go check that out and enjoy all the other great albums from the Blue Note 1500 series. Thank you, everyone. Go check out this album if you like saxophone, and you won't be disappointed. So that's going to do it for me. Everyone, take care. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye now.